All right, we set up a breakpoint, and this is the finished product, and we see that at 600 pixels, we want this guy to go to the right and this guy to go to the left, and then when they're stacked like so at narrow viewports. Okay, so basically at 600 pixels, we're going to do what's known as a CSS float. Okay, and floats actually align things to the left and to the right, so actually let's look at what that is in practice. Okay, um, let's first start with what should we target first? Well, let's target whatever's at the beginning. So the blurb is a good place to target. So we're saying now that the blurb is fine. Here, let's go here. The blurb. What happened? I didn't save it. Here we go. The blurb is just fine at narrow viewport, right? Where it is, staying above. But once we get past this 600, we need this guy to move to the left over here. All right. So let's copy that blurb ID, go inside of our 600 pixel breakpoint, and now what are we going to make this guy do? We're going to say float left, right? Because that's what we want the blurb to do. And let's see what happens. Do we save it? Float left. Okay, it didn't really seem to do anything. Well, maybe because this guy is too wide. So what are we going to do? Well, it could float left, but if this thing is still at 100% width, it doesn't really have much place to go. So let's work these two both at the same time. That guy's going to float left, and then our MailChimp embed right below it, he's going to float right. All right. But now, what do we say? I mean, they have nowhere to float left and right because, oh, well, now they're just gone over here. Great. That doesn't help anybody out. Let's give them a width. Width of, we'll give them each 50%. Let's see if this helps the cause a bit. It does not. Well, there is something we need to do over here. We need to, um, if you will, add. Here we go. We're going to do something that's sacrilegious as far as separation of concerns is concerned. We need to add an HTML element for styling purposes. Okay, I said it. We're going to do everything I told you not to do and everything I preach against because we're sort of stuck over here. And we don't really have any other option. The reason this is happening is because float works with clear. Now, clear is, well, let me show you. Clear makes sure that it clears the float because it goes outside of the document flow. Okay, so let's add a div container down here whose sole purpose is to div id div class equals, and you're going to find these all over the place, clear float. Then we're going to add a clear float class here that says clear both. And ha. All right. This is a little bit of principle I don't want to get too deep into about clearing floats. But the problem is that when you float something to the left or to the right, it actually removes it from what's known as the document flow. So if we were to put about float left, this guy would move all the way up to the top over here and just float around it depending on the width we set for it. So what we had to do is, by all accounts, a hack, and it's what we did. So we're over it. But essentially, this allows all of that stuff to be viewable again. So yes, we did a let's just put right here, semantic sinning.